7 days and counting remaining in the regular season. That means 3 more conference games until March Madness begins at the SEC tournament. And today, the interstate rivalry between Vanderbilt and Tennessee, live from Thompson Bowling Arena. If Tennessee is to get it done against Vanderbilt today, they will have to get the real Steve Hamer to please stand up and please be 7 feet tall. It is a question, which one will we see? The one that we witnessed on Wednesday against Arkansas, or the one that just had 3 points and 4 rebounds at Memorial Gym in January?
Well, I think Kevin O'Neill would like the answer to that question, because when you look at the numbers that he posted against Vandy early in the year, he certainly doesn't want that game. He'd love to have the one that he had against Arkansas this past Wednesday. The key to this game is Steve Hamer for the Volunteers.
You're going to play big? Well, you should anytime you are an interstate rivalry. And Vanderbilt and Tennessee are going to get with it next on Jefferson Pilot Sports.
SEC basketball is brought to you by BP.
Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville. Beautiful day outside, and they're going to warm it up here inside. 5-8 record for Tennessee, and for Vanderbilt 6-7 in league play. Hence the importance of this game as you look at Jan Van Bredikoff, the 1974 SEC Player of the Year, and now a coach 2 decades later with Malik Evans, who I think quietly is always a factor, particularly on the glass with his outman front line. Pax Whitehead is a little better than really people realize. He's also a catalyst for Van Bredikoff's team. Tennessee's starting lineups looks this way. Harris, the complimentary player, with Damon Johnson, the senior, Brandon Wharton and Shane Williams, the young guards, to go along with the aforementioned Steve Hamer. Those are our Bell South starting lineups. Kevin O'Neill looking forward to this one for obvious reasons. We'll be back with the opening tip right after this.
You can look at other people's landscapes, or you can find your own.
School from Nashville and the huge state school in Knoxville leads to Tennessee's 91-57 favor. But interestingly, this series has been swept by one team or the other in each of the last 3 years. Vandy twice and Tennessee once. As you look at Kevin O'Neill, who at 39 years of age has dropped a few more hair strands than he'd like to admit this season. But he's got a young group that's getting better. John Clockerty, the veteran, leading this crew today. R.T. Day and Sam Croft also in that number.
3 excellent officials for a big rivalry, at least it has been through the years, between Vandy and Tennessee. The Volunteers coming in here hoping to continue their winning ways after that game against Arkansas this past week, looking for an NIT bid. Obviously, Vanderbilt still having a chance at the NCAA tournament, but they've got to finish strong and also big into the tournament in New Orleans.
The opening tap is controlled to Damon Johnson.
Vanderbilt opens up in a man-to-man. Secker on Wharton. Good matchup. Secker's got to handle the freshman. Secker overplaying that left hand. Really strong to that left hand. He's playing almost a man and a half to the left.
There's a pop out by Johnson. 10 on the shot. Maybe we'll utilize that clock throughout this game. Shane Williams with the first basket.
Secker could not fight through that double screen. It was staggered, and Wharton was able to get through. Tennessee opens up man-to-man. Vandy's had that great backcourt shooting duo all year long. Both Maddox and Secker delivering key baskets.
Whitehead, well, he is very versatile. You see him get it on the deck, and he rebounds well for his size. Pax Whitehead, the junior from Fort Lauderdale, and Cardinal Gibbons had been the leading scorer for Vanderbilt the front half of the season during SEC games. So deceptively a factor on the offensive end. Maddox and Secker get most of the attention, but Whitehead has quietly gone about getting his job done. Hamer off the entry pass. Good look, but it's stripped by Whitehead. Those are the things he brings to the table.
Tim, he's an outstanding player. He gives a good all-around effort. Baseline J, not there. Air ball. Tennessee gets it back.
Austin Bates throwing it up. On the other end, Damon Johnson. Skip pass for the three. Not there for Shane Williams. The offensive rebound to Johnson.
Hamer was able to keep it alive as Damon Johnson ran it down. Tennessee's been very patient on offense this year. They are one of the leaders in the nation in scoring, but it's because they take care of the ball.
Torrey Harris will get a third try for Tennessee. Wharton dumps it to Williams. Johnson. That's a two-pointer just inside the arc.
And again, off a Hamer screen. Tennessee running their offense to perfection so far. Nice pass.
Evans had to give it up. Kevin O'Neill wanted to walk. Secker. Bates on the offensive glass. Nice work by both teams on the offensive glass here in the early going.
Tim, I really felt like coming into this game that Tennessee was going to be stronger on the backboard. It looks like Evans and Bates have decided to really crash the glass, and if they do, it's going to cause problems for Tennessee, with Hamer the only big player on the inside.
That's the first hoop of the game. Vanderbilt had missed their first 5 shots, and Whitehead gets the easy one.
I say the only big player, obviously Torrey Harris at 6'10", also big, but as a freshman, I don't think has the experience of the other two guys.
Strictly a role player is Harris. On many occasions, he'll play the opening minutes, and then we won't hear from him again. R.T. Day spots a foul inside. It'll go against Austin Bates.
There's Steve Hamer, one of the better centers the Southeastern Conference produces. Every year they seem to come up with some key guys. How about Eric Dampier at Mississippi State? Dimitri Hill down at Florida? Roy Rogers at Alabama. What a year he's had.
You know, the league has a history of manufacturing quality centers in their senior year. Hamer goes reversal. You can go all the way back to Gerd Hammack, who followed up Shaquille O'Neal at LSU and became a double-double average player his senior year and became a #1 draft pick.
How about Will Perdue at Vanderbilt?
Absolutely. Nice work by Malik Evans.
Oh, that was nice.
6-4, Tennessee by 2. 3.5 minutes deep here at Thompson Bowling Arena.
Well, they just back off of Harris. They're going to let him shoot anywhere he wants.
Johnson over Secker. Little shooter's touch for Damon, the senior from Johnson City, Tennessee, and Hiawassee Junior College. Secker. Evans kept that one alive to Whitehead. He rushed it because of Hamer. Secker works free again.
Yeah, I tell you what, you give him that kind of opening with guys laying on the floor and not even charging after him, Secker's going to make most of those. Vandy's in a half-court trap right now. Looks like a 1-3-1.
Matching up out of that, aren't they, Larry?
Yeah, they are. You'll see Maddox over here trying to contest Wharton. Secker not coming from the point position. Whitehead's in the middle.
Cross-court pass again, which will work over the top of that zone. Shane Williams hit his first jumper, but not one since. Fans do not like that call by Sam Croft. It's out of bounds to Vanderbilt. 15-18 remaining opening half. Quality start for both teams. Volunteers leading by 2.
First half so far, the Volunteers have been able to get inside. Hamer with a couple of baskets, and Secker already with one outside shot. He's the guy that's got to lead the Volunteers today, Steve Hamer. Had a very poor game in Nashville, but against Arkansas this week, really turned up some big numbers. Kevin O'Neill looking for some leadership from him down the stretch as Jan Van Bredekop takes a sip of whatever it is in that cup over there.
Jan has been through the wars in a big way, and you know, he really does think if he can finish around 500, he's got an excellent chance at an at-large bid into the NCAAs. And you know, he's got a great case, perhaps a better non-conference record against quality opponents than any other than Kentucky that this league could offer.
Looks like the Cats are going to move into #1 today, Tim, huh?
Absolutely. And it was only a matter of time. They were #1 except in the polls, in a lot of people's minds for a long while. Maddox with 2 on the shot clock, using the window.
Well, those 2 guards are just devastating. You cannot relax for a minute. They'll put one up and get one on you before you have a chance to blink. Really like the way they handle that backcourt for Vanderbilt. Double down, triple down by Vandy on Hamer.
Williams again. That's a 3-pointer for Hamer. 11-8 Tennessee.
Well, Hamer made a nice pass when he got that triple down. He made a nice pass inside.
Whitehead. Claimed by Hamer.
Look at that speed by Ward.
A little stop and go by Brandon, but he can't finish.
Well, that was a nice play. Got there, just could not get the ball to go in the basket. Evans with a good screen for Maddox. That one might have been blocked.
Yeah, I think deflected at the very least. Damon Johnson returns the favor, and he's fouled by Bates, his second.
Brandon Wharton had a nice look that time up the floor, and as he saw Damon Johnson breaking, watch him look at this. Now look at the pass. See him cross, good angle. Johnson strong to the basket. Bates comes in from behind. A little bump on the arm, on the shoulder. Damon Johnson goes to the line. Richard Lee into the game for Tennessee.
Richard has been getting some complimentary minutes of late. This is not a deep Tennessee team. Vanderbilt probably with more depth than the Vols today, so if it becomes a numbers game, particularly with fouls, they've got a much better opportunity.
Tennessee has 7 freshmen on their roster. They depend a lot on those guys to get some things done, particularly the guard, Brandon Wharton. And he continues to look inside.
The outlet to Damon Johnson. Great pass. What a slick dish. Mom's Sunday best into Steve Hamer's hands.
How about the catch by Hamer? I mean, that was a bullet, too.
14-8 Tennessee. John Clougherty spots a foul.
Once again, watch the good pass by Damon Johnson. Good delivery. Good catch by Hamer. Got his hands up there, put his hands on it with both hands. Now that's a key. Catch the ball with both hands and go strong to the basket. I think maybe we're seeing the Hamer that played against Arkansas, not the one that played against Vandy earlier.
Whitehead left 3 on the wing.
Vanderbilt 1 shot and out. They're not getting any second shots. They went to the glass early, and now they've abandoned it.
You have to like the way Hamer is posting up, Larry. He's doing it with some strength. He's really calling for the basketball.
Well, Evans really not in a position to even challenge him. At 6'8", you're facing a guy who is 7 feet, and he catches the ball in there. All he can do is just turn and shoot over you.
Evans draws the foul. It'll go against Brandon Wharton on the reach-in, the freshman out of Nashville's Overton High School.
Nice speed that time. Just see the little pick and roll. Evans turned to look back. Frank Secker put it right in his hands as he went underneath and drew the foul from Wharton. One of the things I like about this Vandy club, they set a lot of high screens. You can expect to see that from them. High screens, pick and rolls.
Jan's professional basketball background certainly fits in nicely with that idea to go with high pick and roll and the high screens that you see. He had an outstanding career at that level.
Evans missed both of them. Secker's going to get on a hold here at midcourt.
Well, as Vanderbilt has dug itself into a hole, they've also committed some untimely fouls. That's the first on Secker. Kevin O'Neill's team doubling the output of Vanderbilt here in the early going. Whitehead sits down, and Howard Pride comes into the game for Vanderbilt. And Howard is one of those guys, you bring him off the bench and he ignites your team from an athletic standpoint on both ends of the floor.
Had a tough year, Tim. He broke his leg in the Rice game, missed 12 games this year. And I tell you what, he's really the best defender they've got on the outside. Good movement by Tennessee.
And there's Hamer. Little inside-out game working. And once you've got that, the triangle formed, Tennessee becomes tough.
Yeah, and Hamer with that threat of scoring inside forced it in. Once they did, Wharton was able to deliver outside.
Counted and a foul. DeSpaltro ending an 11-0 run in the last 3:30. That was a basket that was much needed for Vanderbilt's confidence. 19-10 now our score.
One of the things you don't ever worry about Vanderbilt is getting baskets. Look at this move by DeSpaltro down inside. He went up against Richard Lee, who just came off the bench. DeSpaltro with a big bucket and a Vandy with a chance for a three-point play. I like this guy. He's a good-looking sophomore. Got a good body, strong, physical.
Doesn't convert at the stripe.
What's that, 3 in a row Vandy's missed now?
Tennessee is shooting a whopping 67%. 8 of 12 from the floor here in the early going.
Commodores back in a man-to-man. They immediately go to Hamer and a double down by Vandy.
And he uses the window. Well, the big fella is playing with cause today. And it's amazing how Kevin O'Neill would tell you that in the first 5 minutes, you know what kind of Steve Hamer you're going to get.
Well, you got him today. He's a guy who's offensively ready to go to work. He's taking it to Vanderbilt underneath.
Maddox. Hamer trying to keep it alive. Drew finds DeSpaltro. Quality look from Maddox as Vanderbilt's stick-to-itiveness leads to a deuce.
DeSpaltro very active today inside for Vanderbilt. Looks like he's setting himself up for a pretty good game.
Aaron Green finds Hamer. There's the push from DeSpaltro.
See, they can do nothing if he gets to that post position. If you're going to defend Hamer, put somebody in front of him and somebody in back to keep the ball away from him.
You can figure both he and Cugini are going to get their opportunities at giving up fouls. Oh, DeSpaltro, a cutter for the deuce.
My daughter used to think fish just came from the supermarket.
Watch what happens when he catches the ball. Now, right here, see the double down? Now, look at the two guards outside, both looking inside, trying to help. Now, once he catches the ball, he simply turns and goes up over two players much smaller than Hamer and banks it in. So Vandy looking inside defensively, but Hamer a little bit better.
8 points on this day for Steve Hamer with a couple of rebounds on 4 of 5 shooting. As we documented earlier, only 3 points, no boards on 1 of 5 from the floor in the game played in January at Memorial Gym. Secker with a great outside look to DeSpaltro, who had snuck out, and the foul will go against Damon Johnson, his second.
Tim, I think DeSpaltro really is setting himself up for a big game today. He's had a couple of big baskets. That time he was sprinting to the other end to get another one. He's a very alert young man, a nice player for Vandy. They've got several guys that are like that coming off of the bench. He's one of them.
A natural power forward that has been forced to play center this year because of the small front line that this Vanderbilt team has this season. There's his jumper off the back iron. Hamer brings it down.
Oh, did he get up? I love the poise of Wharton plays with. As a freshman, he really does handles the ball well, always looking for teammates.
And again, that triangle with Green spotting up, and on the opposite side, Johnson.
Vandy doing a nice job with their defense.
Little penetration, and Damon Johnson finds the seam. 7 in the game for him. 23-12. An offensive foul against Vanderbilt, going against DeSpaltro, his second. You don't want to give up cheapies if you're playing that position for Jan Van Bredikoff, exactly, as DeSpaltro is.
So DeSpaltro has to go to the bench now with those 2 fouls. It's too bad because he had played very well for the couple of minutes he was in there. A frustrating look.
Stay tuned at halftime when Dick Vitale presents the DirecTV Dish Out the Winners Sweepstakes.
Mid-court pickup by Vandy that time. Look at Hamer handle.
And the soft, feathery touch inside the lane.
Now, Tim, think about the different ways he's gotten his points today. Turnaround jumpers, little hooks, a little J facing up.
Howard Pride on the wing. The basket will count, and a foul underneath as Green hits the deck. Took one right in the Adam's apple. And now there is a conversation between the 3 officials. The hoop, one would think, should count. It does.
Watch underneath as Secker delivers another assist to the outside. Good catch. Howard Pride right to the bottom of the net. You can see the foul underneath the push-off. Aaron Green picking it up.
Oh, this could be a very profitable trip for Vanderbilt. Having already hit a 3 and then getting the ball out. A chance for a 5-point trip.
Or maybe 6. With the way Vandy shoots threes.
So Green picks up a pair of fouls and is forced to sit down. Shane Williams back on the floor, joined by Rashard Lee, Wharton, Hamer, and Damon Johnson. Secker, quick look inside.
And he did a nice job of passing the ball, moving it quickly.
Malik Evans over Hamer. And Bates over the back. And that's another one of those cheapies.
Good block out inside, though. Rashard Lee just off of the bench. Coming in there to simply screen off Bates. Bates has been playing very well recently, though. They refer to him as the A train.
Now the A train is going to get to sit. He's picked up 3. And again, that was not a smart foul. Clearly blocked out. He'll be forced to sit on the pine when DeSpaltro gets in on the next dead ball.
Hamer wants it. Good kick out.
Rashard Lee. That's a 3.
Well, Tim, what a great weapon Hamer is. When he's delivering the points inside, the defenses collapse, and then he's able to make the good pass outside.
Reach-in foul against Lee. Now, Larry, that's one of the reasons that you can say, well, there's a lot in his game that he needs to work on.
Watch the pass, though. See, they double in. When Evans goes, then it leaves it wide open for Lee in the corner, and he sticks it. As long as Hamer is a threat to score, it opens up the perimeter game for Tennessee.
One of the reasons he's going to be a late first-rounder is because he can do all of those things offensively. You mentioned the different ways that he's been able to score. And with that size, there's an old saying, you can't teach size. And if you add bulk and you show some work ethic, which he has this past year in strengthening his body, he will have a chance.
He really has filled out, hasn't he? I mean, his shoulders, his arms.
Scouts will tell you his lower body needs to improve, but the upper body is certainly where they'd like to see it after this much time to develop in college.
Look at the double down.
Out to Wharton. Boy.
See? They double and triple down on him, and he kicks it back out. And Tennessee delivering some good J's today.
These young guards are beginning to fill it up. Tennessee has the last 6 field goals that they have knocked down, and Secker answers. 31-19.
I think that was their first 3 today. They keep the string alive. Second one?
That was their second.
Yeah.
Tennessee is 12 of 16 from the floor. They are 75% here in the first half.
You did that quickly in your head.
It helps to have a support group when on the air.
Again, Hamer calling for the ball down inside. He's got it.
Nice duck under, and he draws the foul.
DeSpaltro's going to pick up his 3rd.
Yeah, with DeSpaltro's problems and Bates already on the bench with 3, they're going to have to go deep into that bench to find help for Steve Hamer.
See, no one of any significant size inside to try to stop Hamer. DeSpaltro at 6'8", Bates has been 6'9" in there playing. Hamer with that look of despair.
And DeSpaltro showing some there. Kevin O'Neal getting all he wants and then some from Hamer. 5 out of 6 from the floor. Puts a pair in from the free throw line. He has 12. And the crowd rises to attention in Knoxville.
Here in the South, we use technology to make our lives easier. And at Bell South, we've developed one of the most sophisticated communication systems in the world, with more people using more advanced features than ever before. So, if life seems a little...
SEC basketball is brought to you in part by Texaco Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Tim Brando, Larry Conley, happy to have you with us on this SEC Saturday. Steve Hamer, we touched on his inability to produce at Memorial Gym. He has certainly added production today for Kevin O'Neal's Tennessee team. he has accounted for at least 22 of Tennessee's 33 points. That's what he's done so far individually today versus that first game against Vandy. But he also has...
He's fortunate enough to have good shooters responding today. Richard Lee has hit a big one, so has Wharton. So as long as they continue to shoot well outside and Hamer's the threat inside, balls are going to be tough today.
14-point lead, largest of the game.
There's that high screen and roll by Vandy. Nice pass by Evans.
Into Pride, and he has 5 since coming in. Junior out of Huntsville, Alabama, Butler High School.
And he'll do a lot of that high pick and roll.
Johnson can't get it to go, and Richard Lee. How many times do you see that with the younger players? It's probably, Larry, the most often used bad foul that you see at the collegiate level.
Well, Lee got to the inside sector with a good block out that time, and of course the freshman just went up over his back. And this is one fellow you don't want to foul and send him to the line the way he shoots.
You know, the players today have such hops. They just think they can get to all of them. And Aaron Green back into the game. Richard Lee with 3 sits down.
Well, Vandy struggling from the free throw line today.
1 out of 6. I'd say that's a struggle.
Usually they're pretty reliable from the free throw stripe.
Hamer out away from the basket. Now Pax Whitehead matching up. And again, the three-pointer. Shane Williams does the honors. 8 in the game for him. Maddox trying to reverse and find his way clear to the arc. Foul against Brandon Wharton, his second.
Pax Whitehead had posted up Wharton on the inside. Whitehead with that weight at 220. Wharton not nearly as strong and weighing in at 170, and he had the position. And Whitehead tried to take him, and Wharton had to foul before he turned and went to the basket.
Tennessee's defensive intensity has led to some fouls that will have Vanderbilt shooting the double bonus the rest of this half. And with this timeout, Kevin O'Neill, I'm sure, touching on that. It is a 20-second timeout. A lot of times when you play with more intensity, sometimes you pick up too many team fouls.
See what happened there. That was a nice pass by Pride to get it inside. Now look at him pass away from the defense. You know, Whitehead usually extending that left arm right there kept Wharton from getting to the ball. The foul could just as easily gone the other way.
It's a quality young man, and with the added front line help that Kevin O'Neill has coming in this year, his well-documented early signing class, the future is indeed bright here in Knoxville. Already more victories this year than all of last.
He'll tell you he's trying to make a big hard push at the end here to try to make that NIT.
Oh,
the way they've been playing, I think they've got a real shot at it.
Well, let's face it, too. The NIT is also about the size of an arena and how many fans you could put within. And if Tennessee can get 14 wins by season's end, they would be a likely candidate not only to make the NIT field, but host at least 2 games, if not all 3 at home. Hamer really wants it. What a look. Green finds him a quality lob.
Well, once again, the size is such a factor. Evans really with no chance to catch that ball against Hamer.
38-21.
Good pass by Green.
Tried off the dribble. Cans it. 7 in the game for Howard Pride.
You gotta like Howard Pride. He's a strong physical player.
And he's an emotional leader for this Vanderbilt team. A guy that the other players can call upon when times are hard and your team needs an emotional Band-Aid. He'll usually wrap it in gauze. Hamer. And a foul going up. Evans will get the personal. The foul fest underneath and trying to deal with Tennessee's 7-footer continues for the Commodores.
Well, once Hamer gets the basketball, it's almost impossible to contest him. Look at that. All 5 Vandy players collecting around the ball, but no one there to challenge him. Once he's there, you're either going to foul him or you got to let him shoot. You know, in most instances, a lot of the players are fouling him. You know, he came into this game with 193 free throws attempted. The next closest was Wharton at 88.
And he missed both of those after having made 2 earlier. Evans quick move. And Hamer will pick up the personal.
Boy, did he ever blow by Hamer. You know, on the one end, you've got size, but on the other end, you've got quickness. Look at this move here. Evans went right by him before he had a chance. R.T. Day with the call underneath there, saying Hamer pushed Evans as he went to the baseline. So what you trade off is quickness for size.
Yeah.
Evans showing his quickness against the size of Hamer that time.
Evans at the free throw line. You know, and what you witnessed there too, Larry, was the deficiency in Steve's game that we've touched on, that the legs are not as strong as the upper body. He doesn't move his feet with quite the dexterity that his upper body can move.
And Evans took full advantage of it.
38-25, 13-point lead for the Vols. 5.5 remaining opening half. Wharton. Oh, does he have some hops? Taken down by Evans. Here's Pride driving it right to the hoop. Good look to Whitehead. Knocked out of bounds by Torrey Harris.
See, one thing about Vanderbilt, they will get some baskets in transition. If you don't get back on them, they'll find a way to get an easy one on you. Pride trying to get it inside that time on the break. Two things you got to worry about Vanderbilt: those high pick and rolls on the high screens, and also their game in transition.
Maddox for three. Air ball. Whitehead lost it on the way up. Stripped by Damon Johnson.
Good defensive work by Tennessee on that trip.
Green. Well, if he has room to get that shot off, he will bury it. He squares himself as well as any perimeter shooter Tennessee has. They have 6 of 8 three-pointers in this game attempted, the Vols. And the foul goes against Brandon Wharton, his third.
Watch the contact now on the outside. See Secker trying to work across the top on that screen. Now you see, I don't know about that one. I think I'd let that go.
Antonio Harris will come into the game. Brandon Wharton forced to sit.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact out there, but it really didn't influence the play at all. I think Secker was going to get the ball. It all occurred after he got over that double screen.
Frank Secker has been in quest of and finally taken care of our good pal Barry Booker for the most three-point field goals in a career, setting new records almost every game for Vanderbilt in the backcourt.
So now we got to get on Barry. Huh?
Yeah, we'll get on Barry.
Let the young guys get by him, huh?
Well, last week we damaged you with Anthony Epps. I figured I'd deliver it to Booker today. He's not here to defend himself.
John Clockerty just warned Jan Van Bredikoff to back off. Maybe Jan's been chirping him a little bit today, and maybe the next time it may be whistleblowing time.
Notch not there from the perimeter, and here's Secker on the other end. Vanderbilt trying to get it down to single digits prior to halftime.
Tennessee with a good retreat on defense that time. I thought Vandy might get one going the other way.
And Damon Johnson picks up his third. And as the fouls continue to mount against both teams, that's the 11th team foul against Tennessee.
Watch again. Little pump fake, little ball fake as Pride takes a move to the inside. The kick out pass. Foul called, and Pride will go to the line for the two. Hamer's back in the game.
Steve Hamer back in, and look at the foul difficulty. And as the foul fest rolls on, Larry, this will slowly play its way back into Vanderbilt's favor if, in fact, this foul throw and Bates and the other low post guys don't commit a fourth, because Tennessee does not have as much depth as does Vanderbilt. Neither team tremendously deep, but Vanderbilt has a few more options than the Volunteers. And we have an officials timeout, 3:46 remaining. 41-28 our score. Tennessee by a baker's dozen. Coach. After which we'll tell you won't love this stuff for Tennessee's Kevin O'Neill.
Yeah, but you're going to love the stuff that the Volunteers are going to witness right here. If you're a fan of Tennessee, Steve Hamer getting it done again today, this afternoon. And Tim, while we were away, we had a technical foul called against Tennessee, and I think Kevin O'Neill picked it up.
That is his first ever technical foul since becoming the head coach at Tennessee. Sam Croft is the man that whistled him, and it happened shortly after we had gone to the break. Maddox will shoot the technical for Vanderbilt. I think Kevin felt that the whistles were being blown a bit more evenly than perhaps they should have been. Early in the game, Vandy got the foul difficulty underneath, but as the game has progressed, O'Neill's backcourt has gotten into foul trouble. I think he feels the game's been officiated a bit too tightly in the last 5 minutes.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. It doesn't make any difference because Vanderbilt's not making free throws. They're 6 out of 15 from the line.
Pride for 3. Aaron Green brings it down.
Technical did not hurt the Volunteers. They didn't make the 2 free throws, and they didn't get a score on the possession.
Hamer right back out. Shane Williams can't hit. Pride leads the break. Almost lost his dribble. Secker, not there. Tennessee beats it. Oh, Shane Williams with a 360. That was sweet.
How about that nice move on Secker? I think he kind of surprised Secker with that move.
43-28. 15-point Tennessee lead. 2:50 and counting. Howard Pride for 3. Hamer the quick outlet. And the confidence of Shane Williams picking up. You'll recall that Brandon Wharton was sent to the bench with a third. I think that's really what angered Kevin O'Neill and helped lead to that technical foul. Hamer had it slapped away, stayed with it though. And Malik Evans injured himself.
What an effort inside that was by Hamer. I mean, he was totally surrounded by Commodores and still got the ball up and in.
I think Evans jammed his thumb while trying to defend him. 45-28. Maddox, a runner. Pulled down by Torrey Harris.
Tough shot.
Behind the back by Williams. Right past Maddox to Green for 3. A 20-second timeout for Vanderbilt.
That's the way you handle the break. Boy, are they getting it done in this first half. A 20-point lead, and listen to this crowd. Look at the handle. Williams kicks to Green and nothing but net. Tennessee nailing the outside shot. Hamer getting it done inside, and the defense is having their way with the Vandy offense.
A season high for a first half in point production for Tennessee. Their prior high had been 41. They're up to 48 right now.
Aaron Green's going to bruise somebody's chest if he hits another guy like that.
Now the over-under on Rocky Tops could be about 20.
To the streams of Rocky
Yes,
Tops.
indeed. You know, whenever it gets to a double-digit lead, football or basketball, you can count on at least 15 to maybe 20 Rocky Tops during the game. Whitehead with the dump down. Evans with Hamer in front of him.
Couldn't go anywhere. Good collapse by Tennessee.
Secker, not there. Pride, the offensive rebound. Foul will go against Hamer, his second. Vanderbilt is now 2 of 9 from beyond the arc. Tennessee 7 of 11.
Well, I'm not sure. Pride shouldn't have grabbed one right there. You see Hamer foul him as he goes to the basket, but I thought Pride maybe went up on the back of a Tennessee player. I thought that was Green and he climbed. Boy, Vandy cannot make a free throw today. They can't get one near that net.
2 of 10. Hamer sits down and Moore comes into the game, the freshman from Carthage, Tennessee, Smith County.
Tim, I've got 7 out of 17 from the free throw line for Vanderbilt.
They were 2 of their last 10. They're 7 of 17 for the game. You're right. Timeout. Shane Williams called it for Tennessee. 1:14 remaining and 15 seconds remaining on the shot clock for the Volunteers to work with.
I wonder what that timeout was about. I'm not sure why he called it. You got 1 minute and 14 seconds to go. You're up 19. You're at home, and things are going well. Why would you call that timeout? I've got to ask Kevin that question when we're finished.
That was interesting also because Shane Williams had come over to ask for that timeout. Right there you see him, and it took a long time, about 4 or 5 seconds after he had actually asked for the timeout. Kevin O'Neill might have wanted it to set something up.
You know what I think happened there? I think Shane Williams thought maybe his guy was trapped underneath and couldn't get rid of the basketball, and it was a way to keep possession. When he turned his back, the guy actually opened up and the ball was there to be made. The pass was there.
Vanderbilt hasn't come up with a field goal in the last, since the 6-minute mark. And Tennessee has outscored Vanderbilt since that technical foul that you documented really didn't hurt Tennessee's cause at all. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a BP best player from each team. In addition to recognizing our 2 best players, BP and its dealers will contribute $2,000 to the Southeastern Conference to be distributed among the member institution scholarship funds under a conference-approved plan. It's amazing how rivalries like this one, of course, much more heated in the days of Roy Skinner and Ray Mears than it is right now. But it's interesting when you see teams historically sweep a series, and many times by large margins, much emotion still spilled on the court anytime you have an intrastate rivalry.
Well, these two clubs have been battling each other for a number of decades. A lot on the line today. I got to tell you, one of these clubs, Vanderbilt, a chance for the NCAA tournament. Tennessee with a chance for the NIT. And tell you, their game is starting to come together. They had a terrific outing against Arkansas on Wednesday. Maybe Kevin O'Neill starting to finally get some good play out of his freshman. Hamer certainly's playing.
Green. Oh! He's making us green with envy.
Well, they're keeping Evans away from that basket. Good job by Moore inside.
Whitehead off the back iron.
Nobody there to rebound for Vanderbilt. Tennessee has gathered everything since about the 3-minute mark of the first half, since we started this game.
Larry, he's hit 3 of 3 from beyond the arc, has Green. You think they might want to shade towards him in this sequence and not allow that last shot to come from Aaron Green?
Well, that was actually a desperation shot.
Yeah.
They only had 1 second left to let it go. Let's see what they do in this final 8.
It's a 3 off the back iron, thrown up quickly by Williams, and then the foul over the back. Kevin O'Neill not at all happy with that move and letting Shane know about it.
It's one of those plays, you know, if you're a senior, and obviously Kevin O'Neill in his 2nd year here at Tennessee got a good relationship with Shane Williams. I mean, he's a 2nd-year player. He's been here 2 years, been with Kevin O'Neill. Probably just walked over and said, now look, that's a foul you don't commit. You know better than that. You're a smarter player than that.
And that's a part of the rebuilding process, Larry, allowing players to understand what it takes to become a winner. It's okay if you're going to jack up a 3-pointer that doesn't go, but don't add insult to injury with, you know, a frustration foul. Sucker has 10, 51-31, 5 ticks remaining. Williams stopped at midcourt. Tennessee shoots 69% in the first half, and Jan Van Bredikoff needs answers. If the Hamer doesn't get you, the 3 ball from Green will, and it's a 20-point Tennessee lead.
SEC basketball is brought to you by...
Five for Tennessee after one half, 51-31. We welcome you back to Thompson Bowling Arena along with Larry Conley, Tim Brando. And, you know, Larry, you look at this first half, it really all began with Steve Hamer's involvement. And the more he became involved, either as a scorer, and he utilized that to get Vanderbilt's front line in foul difficulty, and then afterwards, the kickouts back to the young guards who delivered with those threes.
Oh, they were, well, Wharton and Green both were able to can a lot of threes in that first half. But it was Hamer's ability to score inside, as you were talking about. But not only his ability to score, he's leading them in rebounding. He also leads them in assists in this first half. So that'll give you some idea of the type of game he played in the first half. Lucky, very fortunate to have those guards hitting those shots on the outside, and it really helps him inside.
You have to look, though, at Tennessee's problem, if they have one. It's the fact that some of those guards, Brandon Wharton included, has three. And if Kevin O'Neal if he loses too many of those sharpshooters along the perimeter, Vanderbilt could still make a strong run. I mean, let's face it, we're still waiting for Secker and Drew Maddox to play the way we know they can.
Well, they haven't played as well as we've seen them play this year, and they're the two leaders on this club in the backcourt.
When we come back, we'll take a look at other scores around the country. You could call this Upset Saturday, particularly if you're in Massachusetts. We'll talk about it later.
I remember cold morning.
Tennessee burning the nylon to the tune of 51 points, the most points scored since 46 against Towson State last year in one half's play as we look at our Jefferson Pilot Sports Scoreboard.
So, let's see what we got right now. Kentucky beating up on Florida 94-63. That should thrust them into that #1 position in the nation. Again, in the Southeastern Conference, Mississippi State at halftime up on Alabama 54-27. Over in the ACC, Clemson beat
some conference wins if they're to get an at-large entry. They're one of those teams competing with Vanderbilt from the midstream of a power conference for an at-large bid. More halftime coming up.
Plymouth Neon. Fun and affordability in 4-door and coupe. The all-new Plymouth Voyager and Grand Voyager, the next generation of the minivan. And the new Plymouth Breeze, the sports sedan with fun for 5. The new line of Plymouths. What'll they come up with next?
Last Saturday, my wife Lisa and I went shopping. You know, we're not paying any attention. That's when it hit me. What would happen to our family if Lisa weren't around anymore?
Well, recently I've been trying to get Dave and Lisa to review their life insurance.
We then called Kim. She's our nationwide insurance agent.
Lisa now has the life insurance she needs.
Sometimes I think about what almost happened. But thanks to Kim, I don't worry about what might happen.
Nationwide is on your side.
What does this name mean to you? It means a tradition of great local telephone service and a lot more. It means seeing the world without leaving town. Video conferencing with clients wherever they are. It means the high-speed data links and networks that businesses require today. This, together with information services and cellular businesses, makes Alltel a Fortune 500 company. And good company on the road to the future.
The Advance Auto Parts Emergency Roadside Assistance Program. If any Autocraft Silver Plus battery or premium lifetime warranty alternator or starter should fail within 2 years of purchase, call us. We'll send and pay for a jump or a tow anytime, anywhere in the U.S. and Canada. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
SEC basketball is brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
On February 10th for this contest, where you had a chance to pick the SEC's Eastern and Western Division champions. Now the winner will be announced during SEC tournament coverage in March and will receive a trip for 2 to the 1996 DirecTV Great 8 tournament. A look at the current Southeastern Conference standings. Kentucky, the runaway freight train in the East, with South Carolina and Georgia making bids along with Vanderbilt to climb their way through and maybe finish with a second place so they could draw the bye. And if you're Vanderbilt, you're probably hoping to play an extra game to get another win for tournament consideration at the next level. In the West, Mississippi State and Arkansas at a dead heat. without last week of February as we head for the month of March.
Tim, it's such a toss-up in that Western Division. I mean, no one really knows. Mississippi State playing well today, obviously beating Alabama, but Arkansas, if they can get those two players back, they desperately need Adebayo and Pate back in that lineup. Can make a run.
You know, you look at this game, the one that we're watching today, and Tennessee's still a year away. Vanderbilt really believes they have reason to make a move this season and perhaps make it to the NCAA tournament. They played so well out of conference, and look what's happening. They're getting beaten by 20.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the highlights in the first half, by the way. While we're talking about that, let's watch the offense of Tennessee, what they've been able to do. And here's the comparison of Green and Wharton, or Green and Maddox, Wharton and Secker. The four guards, Vanderbilt, obviously, Tennessee's guards playing much better today than his Vandy's. Watch Green from the outside bury one of 3-point field goals, 3 3-point field goals he had from the outside. And back again to the inside to Steve Hamer. So he got it done on the outside with Green, and Hamer on the inside with those 16 big points. In fact, he was 7 of 8 from the field.
The updated numbers on Hamer from that first performance to this performance, you could say it is a different Hamer indeed. 7 of 8 from the floor, and the 5 rebounds. You can add to that 4 assists as well. The stat story in the first half. Look at that. 69% for Tennessee, and the three-point shooting obviously a difference. And you look to that backcourt of Maddox and Secker. If they don't get hot, it could be a long second half.
Well,
indeed.
they were 3 of 11 in the first half. I'm going to tell you the stat that's not up there, and I'm going to tell you, folks, was big. Tennessee had 2 turnovers. Yeah, you heard me. 2 turnovers in the first half. That's taking care of the basketball.
Those are our Mobile Oil halftime stats. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment.
Jefferson Pilot.
All sizes and shapes enjoying the proceedings in Knoxville as their beloved Volunteers lead Vanderbilt by 20 as we open the second half. Vanderbilt closing out that first half without a field goal in the last 6 minutes.
They need something from those guards. Maddox and Secker are combined 3 of 11 in the first half.
Right away, lost it. Yeah, turnover. Shane Williams dogging Frank Secker.
Williams with a good first half. He had 10 in that initial 20 minutes.
Now Bates opens this half by fronting Hamer, and another turnover.
Nice play by Whitehead in the corner to get it back.
Malik Evans, very athletic. Torrey Harris got a piece of that one.
Pretty good defense by Harris, too. He didn't take the fake, kept his ground. Nice job of keeping Evans away from the basket.
Brandon Wharton playing with 3 fouls, back in the lineup to start the second, and right into the scoring column.
Tim, he may be the most efficient guard in the Southeastern Conference. It seems like he won't take a shot unless it's going to go in. He was 2 of 4 in the first half, now 3 of 5.
Secker.
Look at Evans' battle.
That athletic play we touched on around the baseline.
That's a great effort. That is a terrific effort inside against Torrey Harris and Steve Hamer. Give Evans credit.
Senior from Willow Ridge High School, Houston, Texas. He's been in and out of the lineup with some health problems through the course of this season. Secker gets the deflection. Out of bounds, last touch by Frank.
Tim, you got to have somebody on the backboard, and right now Malik Evans seems to be the only Vanderbilt Commodore that wants to get in there and mix it up with Tennessee. Look at Harris trying to stop him, and Evans leaning back, almost doubling his body over, going backwards to get that basket.
Wharton forced it. Loose ball to Hamer.
Hamer doesn't worry about rebounding. Great position.
18 in the game for Steve Hamer.
6th rebound on his way to a double-double.
Bates facing him. Not much help for Vanderbilt on the glass. Shane Williams comes away with it.
Good controlled break by Tennessee. They're taking care of the ball.
Evans comes over to give help. Harris is going to look to pass. Very rarely, if ever, looks to take a shot. Johnson double team. Shot clock at 10. Williams a 3. That is exactly the way Kevin O'Neal wants it drawn up.
Well, they penetrate. They go inside. The kick-out pass. Shane Williams, the delivery. Looks like Aaron Green did in the first half.
Well, 58-33.
Tennessee's getting it done today, aren't they?
Oh, and Secker is off balance. Maddox has no confidence in his shot. This could turn into a Volunteers blitzkrieg in a heartbeat. All the signs are there early moments of this half. Count it, and a foul. Oh, Wharton taking it right to the most athletically gifted player that Jan Van Bredekop has on the floor. And this is a damage control timeout coming up.
Everybody's familiar with the Wharton School of Business in Philadelphia, one of the great schools. He just schooled Evans right there.
Oh, I'll say 60-33. Van Bredekop takes the timeout before the mandated TV timeout, and he needed it.
Dependability, service. In this business, it's all or nothing.
Altel Mobile, this is Karen. How may I help you?
All day, all night, at all of the times you need us the most, Altel Mobile is there.
The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. Any use of the broadcast without express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited.
I did not know that.
You didn't. Well,
yes, I did. Every week I know that.
Yeah, I think I speak for the both of us and perhaps our wives that it's a good thing that we're selected and compensated. And we're honored.
Indeed we are.
Bates finds Whitehead working the block. And that's a shot Pax Whitehead generally will put down. He does manage the foul, and he'll get to the line.
One of the things that is in the book about Pax Whitehead is the fact that he is such a great finisher. And indeed he is.
Torrey Harris picking up the personal.
Nice catch here. Good pass by Bates across the lane. Whitehead was strong to the basket, but again, he couldn't get the ball to go through the hoop.
Only 2 points for him on 1 of 6 from the floor. Finally, and he had to touch it all, Vanderbilt gets a free throw to drop.
Chin Man has really come a long way. Last year he averaged a point and a rebound in conference play. This year he's averaging 14 and 6.
Well, Evans manages another foul from Torrey Harris, who quickly says, my bad, my mistake, fellas, my fault. And Evans will get back to the line, but Larry, Vanderbilt is now under 50% at the free throw line. They are 10 of 21 at the line after those two a moment ago from Whitehead.
A couple of factors in this game as to why Tennessee has this enormous lead right now. Obviously the play of Hamer inside, the outstanding outside shooting of Tennessee, but also taking care of the basketball by the Vols. Only 3 turnovers to this point, and the lack of free throw shooting, good free throw shooting by Vanderbilt, has really given Tennessee this enormous lead.
They're 11 of 23 after
nice steal.
4 opportunities. Maddox off the steal from Secker. And obviously, it's time for Vanderbilt to pump up the volume defensively.
Sometimes you got to get it done with your defense, and that's what they did on that possession. Get it again?
Yep.
And Secker might have gotten one from behind.
His second foul. Those are the kind of fouls that Jan Van Bredekop will have to deal with. See him asking there on that dribble from Brandon Wharton. He's asking for the palming, which we almost never see called anymore.
Jim, I want to tell you something. I want to get on my soapbox a little bit about this. I think these guards are doing that too much. I think it's the influence of the pros.
Well, it's the crossover move that started it.
Well, I mean, but they stand out there and they palm the basketball. I mean, that's an advantage for the offense. I think they got to change that rule.
Whitehead lost it on the way up. It'll be a tie ball. And the arrow to Vanderbilt. I agree with you, Larry, but I think the essence of it, and the reason it's being allowed, is because of the crossover move that we've seen come into the NBA in the last decade, and now it's being allowed even on a dead dribble.
Exactly.
Rather than just on the crossover.
But you really take advantage of the defense. You allow the offense to do that. That's an extra step you can take with that turnover.
Couldn't agree with you more. But you would agree that the influence of the other game has seeped into the college game.
No question
in the
about
last
it. No
decade.
doubt about it.
That's a walk, and Vanderbilt's defense causing turnovers. That's 5. for Tennessee since the second half got underway.
Vandy getting it done with the defense. I said oftentimes your defense can trigger a rally. Right now, the Commodores getting it done on that side of the ball. 3 of those 5 turnovers for Vanderbilt, or for Tennessee, have come in this second half, and Maddox gets the deuce. 61-39. Maddox starting to warm up a little bit now. Here comes the overplay.
Vanderbilt will have to expend a lot of energy.
Bad move to pick up your dribble.
Rashard Lee pushes it past Whitehead, finds Hamer. Impacts Whitehead, will pick up the foul. His first.
I think Kevin O'Neal really upset right now with Brandon Wharton for picking up his dribble in that backcourt. You don't want to do that against a pressing defense.
He's funny to watch. I love watching him along the sidelines. Every emotion that's spent is there for you and I and everyone else to see and hear. Refreshingly different approach to the game.
Vanderbilt with a good, strong man-to-man. Now, you can see the post-up move by Hamer inside. You got one in the front, one in back. Bates and Evans, both of them on him, and they're just forgetting about Harris outside.
Wharton taking it to the hole with authority, right past Malik Evans.
Tim, how good is he going to be in his career here at Tennessee?
63-39, Maddox.
Good rebound again by Evans.
The dump down to Malik Evans, and he draws the foul inside.
Boy, is he active inside. I mean, not only the rebound, but he came back across the lane, received the pass, down on the block, and went strong to the hole. Well, it's a good thing Vandy's got him inside today, or they really would be struggling. This is after he got the rebound and got it back out. Look at this turn. This move back to the inside. Crosses over. Hamer's not able to get there to block the shot. Good move by Malik Evans, the senior.
Rashard Lee gets the foul, his fourth. He sits down, and Aaron Green comes in. Aaron Green of the three-point variety in the first half. Just another bomber from beyond the arc that Jan Van Bredikoff has to be conscious of. Back into the lineup.
It's interesting. We're sitting here talking about Van Bredikoff had to be concerned about three-point shooters on the other team. Usually it's the other way around.
I think his concern for his three-point shooters is that they begin hitting some of them.
Nice roll.
Spaltro. And a good look from Secker.
Boy, good high screen, pick and roll. Secker with a good pass to Spaltro right to the hole.
Green to Hamer. There will be easy ones that come off that. 20 in the game for Hamer.
Nice transition by Aaron Green that time.
Hamer a takeaway. And a foul that will give the ball back. Spaltro getting the fourth foul of this game.
How about
Tennessee gets it back.
This is the play before. Watch Aaron Green deliver this pass. Hamer fumbled it a little bit. Spaltro couldn't reach it. Hamer dunked it. What's that, 20 for him?
20. Little run and jump coming at Wharton, and he has to pick up the dribble again. They get it to the middle finally to Green.
See, once again, Wharton picked his dribble up in backcourt on that press. You've got to keep it alive. Vandy's really picked up their defense.
Shot clock at 7. Williams puts it down. 15 in the game for Shane Williams.
Very quietly, he's had a nice
really
afternoon.
Senior that came over from Northeast Oklahoma A&M.
You know, he and Damon Johnson, both from Johnson City, and both left to go to different junior colleges.
Pride picks up the foul from Green. That could be a tee. It is on Green. Sam Croft just lit him up. You can't show up an official, and he did. It was the hand gesture after the foul had been given that gave him the technical.
Watch again. You'll see the move down inside. Green with a little bit of a bump. Well, they bumped him maybe 2 times. The first time he started to go up, and then certainly the second time. Ah, there it is. Yep. That's the reason he got the tee.
R.T. Day's back was turned. Sam Croft gave him the technical after R.T. Day had whistled him for the foul. And you can bet that's what O'Neill is talking about.
And if RT had seen him, he'd given him an AT.
Yeah, it's getting close to March.
Real close.
Pride at the line after the whistles that have stopped play with the technicals. It's still a 23-point lead for the Volunteers, and the fans are really going for the jugular today. A week ago today, we sat here and they had to endure a 40-point loss to their border state rival. They are ready to return the favor to their intrastate rival today. They want it all.
Well, I've had an opportunity to witness Tennessee play not only the Kentucky game, but also the Arkansas game and today. And I'm going to tell you, since that Kentucky game, they put together 3 pretty strong halves.
Again, you have to look at Kevin O'Neill and where his program is and just say how they're really in good shape. Torrey Harris picks up that foul, his 3rd. You see, a cycle has begun, and Vanderbilt is going inside, and there is contact.
Watch Torrey Harris now. He's going to bump a little bit. Despaltro trying to move. See the left leg? He hooked him just a little bit when Despaltro turned to go inside. I think maybe that foul called before Despaltro started to go to the hoop.
But the fans have now become very active because of the technical foul. Emotional at times when there's really no need to be. There's a near steal by Green. Pride recovers. That'll be a walk. And a sarcastic round of applause for the official.
Well, John's getting it today, isn't he?
Oh, he is.
But he's taken it before. Nice pass. Wharton's going to back it out, run the offense. See the front and back on Hamer. They're going to forget about the outside play of Antonio Harris.
Williams not there. Now, there's a situation where Harris knocked it away. Both Bates and Evans were in position to get that rebound.
Bates and Evans have doubled up on Hamer on the inside. They've just forgotten totally about Antonio Harris.
Bates is free on the wing. Oh, the iron kind to Austin Bates, the sophomore from Waverly, Tennessee.
Tim, I'm going to correct myself. That's Torrey Harris who's on the inside, who's taking the ball to the outside, not on Antonio. Now watch Hamer kick it. Green's wide open.
Green again. Not there. Whitehead, the rebound.
Nice pass.
Evans. And Bredikoff felt there should have been a foul there. High lob to Hamer. Count it, and a foul.
Well, they had the front, but the lob over the top gets the ball in the hands of Hamer, and then Evans is late getting there. Was there a foul here?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Got him on the arm. Ball's going to go to the other end. Watch Wharton look up the floor. Good pass. Williams gets it to Hamer. Now watch Evans come from the backside. Well, Hamer's strong today.
23 points for him. 10 of 11 from the floor. Kevin O'Neill, that 40-point loss, a long memory after the last 2 performances. Who is our stage manager today? The junior from Maryville has a 3.07 GPA in Tennessee's pre-med program. Congratulations to Clint, our nationwide insurance scholar athlete of the week, and also proud to have been a roomie of Brett Packer. And look at the palming of the basketball. This is Brandon Wharton, just what you touched on.
Now watch him take the basketball. See, side on the side, pulling it up, side. Now that's okay right now. That's a palm right there. In my book, that's a palm. But they allow it. I think you got to change that rule. Let the ball hand stay on top of the ball. I think whenever you're on the side or on the bottom, it's got to be a palming call.
The rule is in place. It's just not being executed.
Exactly.
A point of emphasis may be put back on it next year. We generally see that at the beginning of a season after the rules committee's gotten together at the Final Four. Knocked away by Wharton. But you know, Larry, I think many times it takes guys like you that follow the game, see the game year in and year out, to see those, and it just sort of makes its way into the game over time.
Yeah, and I think if you don't raise the red flag about it and let people know about it soon enough, then it becomes a part of the game. And I really think that's a great advantage for the offense to be able to do that. And you're trying to balance the rules to make it equal for both ends.
Malik Evans has 10. Vanderbilt going with pressure most of the way. Tennessee has turned it over a few times, but once solving it after turning it over 5 times today, once solving it, they've gotten some easy looks on the other end.
And we're not singling out Brandon Wharton, I want to say, too, on this issue, because it's everybody that I've seen this year. Most of the guards in the country. Nice pass by Hamer.
Harris turned down that shot, and the clock is at 5. Wharton will have to force it. Not a bad guy when you're in need of the deuce before the shot clock violation.
Secker around the screen, yes.
Well, that's the first one of those for him in the second half. He just has 12 in the game. 72-53. Still better than half of this second half remaining.
There's that double down again.
Harris, that's a reach-in foul against Pax Whitehead.
Now that time Torrey Harris, recognizing the double down, made the move to the baseline, toward the baseline, and it was a good pass by Hamer. See right here, Evans on one side, Bates on the other. Now they've got it. Now here's the cut. That's where you go when you see your man is covering up on a double down. Whitehead couldn't get there, so Torrey Harris is fouled.
Rashard Lee back onto the floor. Torrey Harris sits down. Whitehead with 2 fouls after committing that personal. Secker knocking it away. The foul difficulty that was there earlier for the Vanderbilt front line no longer is much of a factor, as Tennessee has picked up their fair share as well, but mostly with aggression. The kinds of fouls that Kevin O'Neal can deal with when his team is playing so hard. Bates collects the rebound for the Commodores, and there's Drew Maddox. A little tentative. He would normally take that shot. Bates. Loose ball out to Shane Williams.
He's got Wharton in the corner. Too late. Still open.
He's ready to pull the trigger. No hesitation.
Nice job by Despalto to get out there and shut him off. You got to close down on those shooters quickly.
Green, good ball fake, but he needs room to get his shot off. Whitehead not giving it to him. The lob to Hamer, and he draws the foul from Bates over the back. 4 against Austin Bates.
Tim, let's give some compliments to this offense of Tennessee's and the ability to get the ball inside to Hamer. They've done a nice job of getting the ball to him away from the defense. Now, see Hamer make the catch? This is something you work on when you got a 7-foot player that operates well and enthusiastically on the inside. And that's what Hamer's been able to do. Good passing by Tennessee.
You see there on the sidelines, Buzz Peterson having a chat with Bates. I talked about the professional influence Jan Van Bredekoff brings to the game. Another one of the assistants on that staff, Charles Davis. He too spent some time in the NBA. To Charles. He had a pretty good shot in his day. 74-53.
Look at Evans' battle. I'd say he's been a warrior underneath there today.
Maddox.
Evans keeps it alive, gets it to Maddox. Maddox is beginning to heat up a little bit here in the second half.
Evans picks up that foul. And Maddox quickly over there to get him. There's Charles Davis. We mentioned earlier he is out on the road trying to pick up better talent for this Vanderbilt team with which to work. Assistant coaches mean so much to these young head coaches in this league, and the infusion of them in the last few years, I think, has made a refreshing difference in the Southeastern Conference.
Jan Van Bredikov with excellent assistance, as does Kevin O'Neill, Michael Hunt, Craig McMillan, and Lawrence Frank on his bench, helping him.
Particularly now, as you look at that Tennessee staff, particularly now, Larry, because it's much more of a 365-day-a-year job, because you can't sleep. I mean, you've got to go out and get the talent as often as you can, and you have to know the dead periods. The dead periods in recruiting change every year. I run into them all the time in the airports, and I'm saying, can you recruit now?
Yeah.
Well, this time last year we couldn't, but now we can. Pride using the window. Hamer brings it down. Hamer wants it on the double team. A foul spotted again. That goes against Howard Pride. Vanderbilt getting to the line far more often than Tennessee,
but not having nearly as much success.
Yeah.
I mean, 16 out of 29. That is very poor shooting, particularly for a Vanderbilt club that's known for their free throw shooting. This is an excellent club from the stripe.
But you know, Tennessee would have gotten to the free throw line far more often if Steve Hamer had been forced to take it up into those double teams. But instead, he kicked it back out, and he got help from the guards.
Hamer's been to that line a lot, as I had mentioned in the first half, so many more times, a little more than 100 times more than Wharton, who's second.
Rashard Lee, the rebound. Hamer this time putting it on the deck. Shot clock at 18. Good passing from both Williams and Green, leading to that deuce.
Man, oh man, you talk about going back to the well. They've dropped that bucket in here 3 times.
Running the offense through Hamer today. Oh, a rainbow J. Pride with one for the highlight film. Threw that one up from his hip. 15 for him.
Tennessee moving the ball once again. Good patience on offense. Hamer not calling for it. Shakes his head no. Wants it back out.
Wharton. Pride brings it down. Sucker for 3.
You knew that one was going to go up.
Timeout, Vanderbilt.
22nd.
22nd TO with 6:59 remaining, as Jan Van Bredikov tries to stretch this one out as best he can. Well, don't forget, much more Southeastern
Conference this past week over Vanderbilt. Right now they're sitting in the position at 6-7 with an opportunity if South Carolina were to lose at Ole Miss tonight to tie for that top spot or second spot behind Kentucky.
Something else to remember about Georgia, other than Vanderbilt in non-conference, they have as much to crow about as anyone. A win over Virginia Tech on a neutral floor, and a blowout win over Georgia Tech, who's currently tied atop the ACC. That's very significant if Tubby Smith's team can get to 500 in the league. 78-60 with a timeout here in Knoxville. Haven't heard Rocky Top in a while. Somehow I think we will again.
Times in the first and second half. The ball going inside to Steve Hamer. Aaron Green gets it to him. It goes in, goes back out. A little triangle. Once again, Green back to Hamer. And Tennessee's gotten a lot of mileage out of that play today.
Yeah,
Hamer inside.
Yeah, you could say Obladi, Oblada. There's a young man who's an interesting story, Gianni Cugini.
You know what? He's going to come back and play. I asked him before the game today when he was going to get back. He says probably for the Mississippi State game, which is this week. It's a young man who had a very serious injury. He actually bruised his spleen in the South Carolina game. He's only played in 18 games this year, 18 of the 26. And Vandy really needs him back in that lineup. He's a tough kid. Glad to see him coming back.
Aaron Green committed that foul. That's his 5th. He's out of the game. You know, I had seen him. Cugini played a very big role in the upset win at Arkansas very early this season, and I told him that he set a quality pick, and he looked at me and he said, well, I appreciate that, Mr. Brando. And I said, and by the way, with a name like Cugini, at some point in time, Larry Conley and I want our wardrobe to be done by Gianni Cugini.
Absolutely. I also appreciate the fact that he's calling you Mr. Brando.
Yeah,
you know, once you reach a certain level, a certain age, that's what happens to the young players begin to refer to you as that.
Yeah, all right. I'm a Pisces and I color my hair. What else do you want? Birthday's just around the corner.
That old Jack Benny birthday is going to stay with you forever, huh?
Yeah. Secker at the stripe. Boy, Frank Secker can't even hit.
You know, you got problems. Vandy's got problems when Secker doesn't make free throws. I mean, this guy is so good from the line, and he's just committed the foul.
Vanderbilt is a team now 16 of 30 at the free throw line. Just one toss ahead of 50%. Kentucky blows out Florida today, and they're headed to #1 with a bullet. Mississippi State had a huge lead at halftime, holds on to win. Tough loss for Maryland today, trying to make their case out of the middle of the pack in the ACC. North Carolina losing to Florida State. You know, the ACC is likely to have, I mean, we're talking about a league, a power league that may only have 2 teams in the top 25.
Could very easily. Obviously, we're talking about Wake Forest and Georgia Tech to this point.
After that loss by Carolina, one would think that there may be more slippage for Dean Smith's team. Pride forces it, count it.
Big basket.
And
what a tough basket. Hey, one guy had given up is Howard Pride. That was a strong move down the lane.
And what we spoke of in the first half may be coming to fruition. Foul difficulty.
See, he gets a step on lead, ducks his head, and goes right toward the Tennessee defense. Nobody there to help. They collapse, and then they give way. Good move by Pride to get inside against Lee.
Now, Rashard Lee has fouled out. Aaron Green has fouled out. All of that within the last 45 seconds. And still 6:21 to play. And this lead, which was well into the 20s at one point, has been whittled down to 16.
If you're a Vanderbilt fan, you may want to take heart to the fact that Tennessee gave up a 26-point second half lead to UNC Charlotte earlier in the year.
And they led by as many as 29 in today's game. So 13 points have been carved off of the Tennessee lead by Jan Van Bredikov's Commodores. And it hasn't been easy because the freebies have been few and far between from the free throw line for the Doors. Quick double team again. Now Johnson forced to handle it. Not a lot of confidence in this Tennessee offense trying to break the pressure.
Not sure why they ran off and left Johnson with the basketball. Wharton, a much better handler out there, as is Shane Williams.
Hamer up and over. Austin Bates, who has 4 fouls.
They are making some great passes being there to him today. Well, we know which Hamer showed up today.
Oh, indeed. Whitehead. Pax now with 4, 80-65. You know, with the 3-point shot and guys like Secker and Maddox available, it's far from over. Maddox picks up the personal. Checking Damon Johnson. And Malik Evans will come back into the game. Pax Whitehead sits down.
Tennessee's going to be shooting the double bonus. The Vanderbilt club beyond the 10 foul limit.
Tennessee's committed 18 fouls. So pretty soon everyone will be shooting 2. That face pretty much tells the story. Eight points now for Johnson, only 1 in this half. 81-65.
Double screen for Secker Knight.
Oh, what a look to Evans. Oh,
was that pretty? Was that pretty?
It was as if it's a part of his anatomy. Watch this pass.
Well, it's a double screen. Now watch what happens. Now look at Evans. See the double screen? Now he rolls when Secker gets around Bates, and then he drops it down inside. Great catch. Great pass by Secker.
Damon Johnson fouls out, the 3rd volunteer to foul out in the last 2 minutes. As we said earlier, Larry, if it becomes a game of numbers, Vanderbilt has an edge.
Got to make the free throws.
And we were just given incorrect information. Torrey Harris got that foul, his third. So our apologies. But if Johnson picks up another one, that would be the third volunteer that fouls out of the game. High pick from Harris. Wharton converts.
Wharton having another good afternoon. 17 points.
Secker off the dribble.
Can shoot it, can pass it. Does it all.
And can steal it. Despaltro saves it to him. On the wing. The iron unkind, but Pride pulls it down. Wave off the hoop, the foul. Wave off the hoop, the foul is on Harris.
Well, Vandy really coming at Tennessee with their defense now. Secker's gotten the fire lit under this club. Then he comes back defensively, makes the good steal. Not unusual for him. He leads this Vandy Commodore program with more steals than anybody in their history.
And that foul on Harris is now his fourth. So 2 more volunteers playing with 4. 2 volunteers have fouled out. And the timeout taken by Kevin O'Neill. Alabama and Arkansas coming up on Wednesday, February 28th, 8 Eastern, 7 Central Time. And the other matchup that you'll be able to see on Wednesday, the Georgia Bulldogs and the Florida Gators. Always a rivalry when DeMeat Hook gets together with K2 Davis. All of that coming up on Wednesday on many of these Jefferson Pilot Sports SEC stations.
Next week's the end of the season. Hard to believe. Goes quickly, doesn't it?
Tournament time. And the problems at the free throw line roll on for Vanderbilt.
And here's a guy shooting 74% coming into this game, and he just barely scratches the rim and missed that one too.
Amazing. He's 3 of 8 is Pride at the line today. Now Vanderbilt will need only to look at the box score to figure out why they lost this one at game's end. Warden checked by Maddox.
Gotta believe Tennessee's going to get a whole lot more patient on offense now than they have been. Little weave out front.
Williams using the glass. Maddox draws the foul. Shane Williams has 2.
Watch Shane Williams pick up his 18th and 19th point on this little crossover dribble against Maddox. You can see Pride coming to help him. As soon as he made the move toward him, Williams got it off of the glass. I tell you, Shane Williams has done a terrific job in the backcourt today. He and Wharton have been, you know, we talked so much about the backcourt of Vanderbilt. It's been the backcourt of Tennessee that's gotten it done today, too, to go along with Steve Amos.
You're right. And you know, Larry, when you look at Vanderbilt, Secker obviously has done his part. But Drew Maddox today is not getting the leg lift at all, either with his jumper and even with that free throw. Drew generally a much stronger offensive force. Ball loose on the deck. Wharton gets a tie ball. And I think we may have an overrule. R.T. Day may be telling Sam Croft he had a timeout prior to the tie ball. I believe that's what this is about. Nope. The discussion's over. The possession arrow is to Vanderbilt. 3:50 remaining. It's a 15-point lead for the Volunteers.
First, I figured I'd forgotten where I'd parked. And then I knew. I called my husband.
On the free throw when it's attempted. As the ball goes up and it's short, now, from the time of possession to the time they get to the midcourt line, did 10 seconds expire? Now, I think it did. See, now there's 10 seconds already gone. And now, all right, it's okay because Vandy gets the ball back, but they lose the arrow possession because it goes the other way. Tennessee now gets the arrow going back their way.
Tennessee with a 15-point lead, and Vanderbilt's missed 18 free throws today, and Maddox misses another one from point-blank range. Kevin O'Neal wants motion.
Tough to get that ball away from Wharton. He gets down so low over the ball. See that crouch? Look how low he gets down with it. Tougher pride to try to pick it up. Good job by Secker.
Boy, he plays a passing lane, doesn't he? Secker to the deck and fouled by Shane Williams, his third. And Secker took that shoulder right into the bottom of the goal, and he's hurt.
He hit that brace pretty hard.
He sure did.
Watch again. Look at this steal. This is his 5th steal of the day. He came in with 198. He's got 203 for his career at Vanderbilt. That leads all players who ever played at Vandy. You can see the foul committed right there by Shane Williams as Secker goes into the brace. Just undercutting. Well, you know what he did? He fell on it. It wasn't the brace that bothered him. He simply fell when he got undercut.
And he gave up his body because he was throwing up the shot, which he wanted to do, obviously, to get to the line for the two. Both teams well over the bonus and into the double bonus. But it hasn't seemed to matter in this game. Even Kevin O'Neal's troops have missed a fair share of free throws today, but nothing quite like the Commodores. I mean, Tennessee's not setting the world on fire. They're 10 of 17 at the free throw line themselves. Secker picks up his 4th. With all of the fouls that we've had in this game, Larry, it's been very difficult for either team or this game to get any kind of fluidity in the second half.
And particularly when you're not shooting free throws well. I mean, right now, Tennessee goes 1 of 2, like Vandy did earlier, 1 of 2. Vanderbilt can just look at the free throw line and realize that's where they lost this game today.
Right now, your best defense many times could be a hack, a foul. Put them on the line. A jump stop from Pride and a deuce.
Shane Williams pushing. He's got Hamer if he wants to lob.
The lead is down to 13. Tennessee led by as many as 29 early in this half. Vanderbilt making the commitment to play straight up and not commit the foul. Shot clock under 10. Wharton gives it to Johnson.
You know what? Maddox just left him alone. He went right down the lane, and there was nobody there to pick him up.
Secker to Spaltro.
You know, a lot of people say that that's traveling, but he didn't have possession of the ball. He didn't catch it.
Yeah, there are times when we'd like to take some of the great fans, and great fans they are. They pay their prices for their tickets. Would be nice to take them to an officials clinic from time to time. You have to have possession if you're going to walk. Johnson at the line for 2. He has 9, only 2 in this half.
Damon Johnson, quoted by Kevin O'Neal, as saying he's a jack of all trades and a master of none. Means he plays the game in all ends, all aspects.
Yeah. Pride with the dump down to Malik Evans. Howard Pride gets it back. Johnson brings it in. Showing you some of that versatility that Larry just alluded to. Lead is 14. Maddox gets the foul. Been a tough afternoon for Drew. He has 3. Pax Whitehead will come in for the Commodores. Malik Evans leaves.
I think one thing about Vanderbilt, they have not given up. They have whittled that lead down that Tennessee had. What did you say? Was it 29
29
at one point?
Brandon is now 3 of 6 at the stripe. And your point guard needs to shoot better than 50%. He's likely to have the ball the most at the end of most games. But it is a career high for him. His previous high, 19 points. Wharton now with 20. Loose ball, Secker keeping it alive. Secker for a 3. Whitehead trying to run it down and does save it. Pride draws the foul.
Well, what a nice maneuver that was by Howard Pride. After he got the ball from the corner, he was streaking to the basket and got in through and in between a number of Tennessee defenders. Watch again. Good job by Whitehead to keep it alive. He kicks it back out before he falls out of bounds, throws it out there. Now watch Pride make this move. Inside, he got in between Hamer and who was that on the other side? Torrey Harris?
Pride with a career high of 20 today. He's shown some guts coming back from that leg injury.
Indeed he has. He's a tough kid.
Into the middle, Wharton met by Despaltro. Hamer, an easy one. Despaltro gives himself up, picking up the foul, and that's his 5th. Now, Vanderbilt has stretched this one out about as much as they could. They just didn't hit their free throws down the stretch.
I was surprised that Wharton didn't give the ball up inside to Torrey Harris, who was wide open underneath. He waited for Hamer to fill that left lane. Despaltro commits the foul, and Hamer will go to the line where he's not one of the more successful volunteers.
Well, I bet Buzz Peterson wishes he still had some eligibility, particularly at the free throw line. He didn't miss many in his days at North Carolina. Let's take a look at our BP best players for today's game. Frank Secker started slowly, came on strong, and as usual, the heart and soul of Vanderbilt's comeback attempt. 19, 8, and 5. Hamer, 29 with 11 boards and 2 blocks. Another double-double for Steve Hamer.
Good back-to-back outings by Steve Hamer. The fact that he had a double-double against Arkansas this past Wednesday, Hamer may be the guy you want to watch for down at the end of the season in this SEC tournament. The consistency has not been there all year long. He's had some poor games, but recently, Kevin O'Neal getting a lot of production out of his center.
If he can hit this free throw, he'll tie his career high. And he does with 30. He had that against Auburn earlier this year. 92-77. This is Hamer's 27th double-double of his career, the 6th of this season. Maddox for 3. He's been short almost all day with his long-range bomb.
Well, looks as if the Volunteers are going to put 2 wins in a row together. Move to 6 and 8, 13 and 11 overall, Tim. That's a great record for Kevin O'Neal. Considering they won 11 games all of last year, the season's not over yet.
And for Vanderbilt, their 11th loss overall. And more importantly, they're going to have to do some damage in the final week of the Southeastern Conference to finish at 500 in the league. Now, Jan Van Bredikoff could find himself in the position of needing that extra game in the Southeastern Conference tournament to pick up another win to look good to the tournament selection committee, particularly if you're at 500 within the Southeastern Conference. South Carolina and Georgia obviously making bids. His remaining games are Mississippi State and at Kentucky, so it's not going to be easy.
2 tough games. Mississippi State with a big win today over Alabama. And you got to play the Cats in Kentucky.
Yeah. Tennessee gets the win and moves to 13 and 11. And they smell a postseason in Knoxville. The NIT will do just fine, thank you, for Kevin O'Neal in year 2. Hamer gets 30, tying a career high, and we'll be back after a word from your local SEC station. Volunteers leave happily with a 94-79 victory over the Vanderbilt Commodores, avenging an earlier 10-point loss in January. These are the people responsible for bringing you today's telecast. Our executive producer of Jefferson Pilot Sports is Jimmy Rayburn. For our producer Joel McKee, our director Tom, don't call me Smitty Smith, this is Tim Brando saying so long for Larry Connolly from Knoxville. The Hamer came down hard today.
IT is kind of like a sock hop for those who couldn't find a date. But make no mistake, what Tennessee basketball team has done this year has been nothing if not outstanding. Vol fans got a feeling the NIT could be coming into focus for this team. The banner looks good. UT just flattens Vandy this afternoon. Shane Williams cans that one from the outside. It's worth 2, but no sweat. Steve Hamer showing mobility inside. The reverse layup, Vols by 4. Still first half, Tennessee on the break. DJ with the pass to Super Steve. UT extends that lead to 6. Butch, not a happy head coach. The Vols play the inside-outside game. Brandon Wharton for 3. Tennessee on an 11-0 run. Then it's Hamer again, the Big Orange by 17. Still first half, the Vol version of Spinderella coming up here. Williams, the spin, and the shot. Yeah, it falls. That was so good. Smokey couldn't contain himself. Vols by 20 at the half. Extra effort by Vandy here. Malik Evans gets it to fall, trying to close the gap, but the Vols just about doing everything right. Wharton with a nifty move for the basket. The Vols win 94-79. Credit the UT backcourt, including Wharton, for this big, big win.
Because he's growing up a lot. I don't have to tell you guys. You just have to watch. He's getting better by the minute. And really did a lot to help us win today. He really did.
I'm tired of wrestling 3 and 4 guys on the inside, arm wrestling, and playing football out there. It's tough night in and night out. And for our guards to step up, which I knew they could all along, and make the big shots, it was tremendous.
We knew that they was going to double team on Hamer. We knew some open shots was going to be somewhere. If it was the first pass out, or, as we worked it on around the perimeter, somebody was going to get an open shot. And today we just stepped up and knocked them down.
Easy as this. Inside. Steve fighting off the double team, and the big guy guns it back outside, and Brandon cants it. The Vols win their 13th of the season. They play at South Carolina coming up on Wednesday. SEC scores from today.
Hey, hard to believe.
It was. I mean, you watch it and you just kept waiting for the Vols to get cold, and they wouldn't, and then you thought Vandy would come back, and they just never did. And there's plenty more basketball to be played, but you couldn't blame Kevin O'Neill if he wanted to frame this one. This afternoon, the Vols were as hot as a firecracker against Vanderbilt, and the firm of Hamer, Wharton, and Williams combined for more points than the entire team has scored in 18 of its games this season. Here we go to Thompson Bowling Arena. Kevin O'Neill saw his team get off to a great start. Damon Johnson to Steve Hamer. The Vols on top 14-8. Check out the inside-outside game. Hamer to Wharton. That's good for 3. The freshman finishing with 20. Then Aaron Greenlobby to the big guy. Nice seal by Hamer. Tennessee shooting 69% for the game. Shane Williams was exceptional at both ends of the court. Great spin move for the jumper. Williams had 19. The Vols ahead by 20 at the break. Gets better. Second half, the lead grows to 28. Wharton penetrating. Give him the hoop and some harm. Jan Van Bredikoff start the bus. And Hamer rips Vandy for 30 points and 11 boards. Tennessee cruising to victory, 94-79.
It's like, let's face it, if guys make shots on the outside, then people have to start helping out, and then you have an inside-out game. And I think we had that today, and we've started to have that a little more as we've gone along.
And our whole team was in the zone, because it really felt good for our basketball team to step up and kind of get into a run-and-gun game, which is something that we don't do.
Coaches told me, get some more penetration, they can get, a lot of other people open. So today I just try to, make an effort to, get inside the paint as many times as I could.
Well, what a difference in Steve Hamer's performance. In the January loss to Vandy, Hamer scored 3 points. Today, he had 30. The Vols improved to 13-11 overall, 6-8 in the SEC, and they are closing in on that NIT bid. Next up, a road game at South Carolina on Wednesday. Well, time